A new poll shows 4 in 10 Americans are struggling to keep up with rising costs and soaring gasoline prices. The same poll finding 54% believe that the middle class has not benefited at all from President Biden's policy and his agenda. Take a look at these numbers. Just 10% of adults say that the country is headed in the right direction. As you can see, 88% say the country is headed in the wrong direction in this Monmouth University poll. All of this as a growing number of households are now dipping into their pandemic savings to cope with surging costs. Joining the conversation all morning long this morning, Laffer Tengler Investments Chief Investment Officer and CEO Nancy Tengler is here. Independent Women's Forum Center for Economic Opportunity Director Patrice Onwuka is here. Great to see you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Nancy, your reaction to this poll? We continue to see the president's approval ratings move lower, but now in this poll we're getting actually more clarity about what investors and American households are doing, and they are feeling hurt.
Yeah, of course they are. I mean, it's remarkable, Maria, how quickly we went from super low levels of unemployment and poverty. I think the lowest level in the history of the statistic being calculated. And now we're in an environment where individuals are struggling just to put gas in the tank, put food on the table. And the great irony in all of this, we could solve it very quickly with an improvement in our energy policy. But the thing that strikes me the most is not only is energy futures up, but coal futures are up over 300% this year, which tells you that the policies that the president's pursuing, even from a green energy and climate perspective, are failing catastrophically.
Yeah, I think it's such a great point that you bring up the electric vehicle space, because the other day I was really struck by noting Tesla is no longer the largest producer of electric vehicles. That actually now is a Hong Kong-based company, Nancy. And now you see, once again, this policy out of this administration pushing the business to China, even on electric vehicles, which is their, obviously, massive priority.
Yeah, I think you can just look across the board and see an administration that has done almost everything wrong, not just from a national security standpoint, but from an economic standpoint. We have so much oil and we're energy independent just a year and a half ago. But the worst part in all of this is, as we go to other countries and ask them to produce more, we produce the cleanest energy here in the United States. We should be encouraging our domestic producers and not demonizing them, because it's better for the environment, it's better for Americans, it's better for the globe.
It's a great point. Inflation, obviously, the top concern, Patrice. One thing that really struck me in the piece in the Journal this morning about the savings rate, it has plummeted down to 5.4%. In the middle of the pandemic, we were talking about double-digit rates for savings rates.
Yeah, it's not surprising. And good morning, ladies. You know, Americans were getting 3 rounds of stimulus checks, child tax credit payments for 6 months to many families, unemployment benefits that had the bonus from the federal government. So it's not surprising that, you know, American families bounced back relatively quickly. And the economy reopened over a year ago. It had started to reopen. And so the flood of extra stimulus into American households allowed Americans to sit on that cash. You even had some renters who didn't have to pay their rent. So you had a lot of benefit to the American family. But if inflation that has accelerated, particularly from the past year, has eroded all of those savings. And when you read the stories of families who are saying, you know what, those extra stimulus payments and all those savings, they're dipping in because they can't make ends meet outside of that. It tells us just how finicky the financial budget for most families are right now. That is going to be concerning for, you know, the everyday life. But when we look to November and the political ramifications, President Biden is in trouble. Americans recognize that his policies are not just not working, they're working against them, and they're going to hold him accountable and his party accountable in November.
Yeah, and it feels like recession. We'll get the official word at the end of July when we get the initial reading of the GDP to see if, in fact, we are seeing 2 quarters of contraction. We're on that.